Hello, good morning, James Baker here. And today I have a great call with a doctor from the UK. He has a really cool business idea, and he has a lot of generic questions about, um, the stuff we talk about, opening companies, using holding companies. He has a unique business where it's a service business, it's online. We're going to talk about it in the call. So watch the call. You'll get a lot out of it. And then we talk a little bit about like how I help and stuff, So thanks for being here. Like, subscribe if you do that stuff. And if you want to schedule a call with me, you don't want to, you like, Jim, I don't want to watch any more videos. I want to talk to you myself. I have free calls and paid calls in the description below if you want to be the next star featured on the Calls with Jim section of my YouTube channel. So appreciate you being here, and let's get to the call. Calling from the UK, we have a Dr. M.
Mohammed, yes.
Dr. Mohammed. Thanks for thanks again for scheduling the call. Tell me about your business and what's going on.
Yeah, Mr. James Baker, I'm based in the UK. I've basically have had a career in healthcare since the late 1990s. And what I'd like to be doing is that I'd like to have a medical tourism company. This would be based for patients who would be living in the US and taking treatments in low-cost countries, for example, in Mexico or Thailand or even in Malaysia or India.
Cool.
And I would just basically be dealing with the hospitals and then taking the patients who are interested in getting low cost, but JCI means Joint Commission International, means American accredited treatment abroad at a lower price, at a fraction of the cost of getting it treated, for example, in the US. And then the patients would go there, get treated, have a nice, quiet, enjoyable holiday, and then come back. And then the hospitals would be giving me some sort of a commission based on what the patients pay the hospital. So
cool.
that's my model. And for this, I was thinking about establishing a limited liability company in Wyoming, so that I can get my payments to the bank accounts abroad for this limited liability company in Wyoming. So I would just like to be interested to know what taxes in the US would I be liable, and what is the documentation that I've got to submit every year just to keep my limited liability company in good standing.
Great. So you want to do medical tourism, basically like a digital service, just connecting people, whatever. And that's pretty cool. So it's a really good concept. And since you're a doctor, I instant credibility there. So I like it. So there wouldn't be any income taxes to pay unless you have like an office in the US or something like presentially here. And also there wouldn't be any sales taxes on this because there's services as well. So there's no income taxes to pay. And so that's pretty awesome in the US. So what you would have to do every year, you have to renew the company with the state of Wyoming, and you have to file certain forms with the IRS.
Right.
And
okay.
You have to file these FinCEN forms, which are still pending legislation. So I mean, they were approved and everything, but we're still waiting on guidance on how to actually do it. So those are the only things you have to do every year.
So I wouldn't be liable for any federal taxes, would I?
No.
And I think so. Wyoming, they don't have any taxes on corporations as well, on LLCs.
It would, yeah. There's no tax on LLCs. In basically any states. I mean, you wouldn't have to file most. I mean, but yeah, Wyoming, no. And you would probably have to report it in the UK though.
Yeah, I'll be looking into the compliance for that. But first of all, I was looking about what federal and state taxes would be liable for in the US, if that makes sense.
Of course, yeah. There's nothing, no, really. It's pretty clear on that front. There's a lot of case law and precedent supporting the concept that having an LLC and a bank account doesn't mean you're doing business in the US. And there's a sort of a requirement of having a income effectively connected with US trade or business that would that would like preclude or make you have to pay income taxes in the US.
Right. So if this is if this is a digital service, so I'm not paying any taxes in the United States, and plus if my US clients, I'm not taking any money personally directly from US clients, but they're paying the hospitals. I'm getting a commission from those overseas based hospitals, so I'm not liable for any taxes in that sense, am I?
Not in the US, probably not in the other jurisdictions. But what happens is if like, for example, in Mexico, if you are referring people to a hospital in Mexico, there might be the Mexican hospital might withhold taxes on the amount they pay you based on local Mexican law.
Right. Okay. And just to be clear, my income would not be classed as US sourced or liable for US taxes. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking about having a United States LLC as a holding company for my overseas subsidiary companies that would be taking money from the hospitals abroad, for example, in Thailand or in Mexico. Would the income from these subsidiary companies, would these need to be declared to the IRS every year?
Well, I would probably not do it that way. I would probably just have, if you or if you're going to have, so let me think about this. So if you have the LLC, I probably wouldn't have it owning all the other companies if this is the LLC you're going to be operating with, unless, or maybe have a separate LLC for holding companies, just because if you end up, if the IRS does want to say you have a US trader business, or maybe in the future you come in, or maybe the laws change, or maybe something happens, then it would make a huge mess of having to report all of those potential companies in the US as well.
Subsidiaries. Okay.
Yeah, the subsidiaries. So if you want it, I mean, you can definitely do it. I'm just like thinking of like being pragmatic, and if it's like not that much of an issue, I probably have one holding company and then one operating company, and then you own the operating company like separate from the holding company. I mean, that's just, if this is a big thing and you're really going to scale it out and do it that way, that's how I would set it up.
Okay. Okay. So the holding company, I can use a holding company to hold on to assets and business abroad outside the US. And can I do that?
Yeah, and if you, so for example, if you open up an operating company and a holding company, you open up a bank account for each. For the holding company, if you open it up and put in like $3,000 in the bank account, you can just do the report in year one, and then if you just use that 3,000 every year to pay the upkeep expenses, it was going to be $100. You won't have to do any tax reports for that company. You will have to do FinCEN reports showing that you're the owner of the company, though. But I mean, other than that, it's really that's one way you could get out of doing reports every year. But
and the holding company having overseas assets and businesses, that will have to be, those assets and businesses will have to be reported to the IRS, wouldn't it?
no,
It's not going to be. It doesn't
not if
need to
there's
be.
no, if you're not don't have any transactions with them, and if it's not a U.S. trade or business or anything, it's not reporting it, then you wouldn't have to do any reporting there.
So overseas assets and overseas businesses, that doesn't have to be reported to the IRS.
Well, what has to, no, it doesn't. I mean, it does if they're, so with the foreign owned single member LLC, and that's, you need to be the only owner. You can't have your wife on that too, because that makes a different tax filing. Then that's really important to note as well. There has to be one owner of the LLC to keep it in this fun gray area. But when you have a foreign owned single member LLC, the annual tax report to the IRS is only reporting related party transactions. So that would be if your companies were sending money to the holding company, then you would have to report the owner, like those specific companies. But other than that, you're just going to report that you own that company to FinCEN and then to the IRS in the years when you have transactions, and basically opening the company as a transaction. So you have to file usually in the initial year.
Okay, but the holding company, I mean, the IRS cannot claim any taxes based on foreign businesses and foreign assets.
In this situation, that yeah, they wouldn't have any claim to that stuff.
Okay.
Nor would they even know about it, honestly.
Well, I'm just trying to be as clear and clear as possible, because I mean, as a doctor, you've got to have as much probity as possible.
What's awesome, the difference between our jobs is that, you know, if I make a mistake, I can just like fix it and send it back.
Yeah,
and the stakes are a little lower oftentimes. I mean, it's important to do it right in the setup and everything, but Yeah, being a doctor has got to be more stressful when you're doing actual like surgeries and stuff.
Yeah, but even in terms of finances, you've got to be very clear and very honest. Otherwise, you lose your medical license. That's what.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, it's the same thing for me. Obviously, I can't mess around either because they'll take away my CPA license. So yeah, I mean, I don't think, but that's again, that's something in the UK because you're gonna probably have to report everything in the UK. Most developed countries like the UK and Canada and the US, when you're a resident of the country, they have all kinds of different reporting requirements for offshore things. So that's an
Yeah,
important conversation to have.
yeah. I have a friend who's based who's specialized in UK in tax law. So I will be in compliance with anywhere wherever I'm living. So I'll be in
But if
compliance
this,
locally.
yeah, I mean, if this is taken off and you already have like you have the the roots and everything set up for this, then you can expatriate the UK and move to Dubai and pay no taxes, and that's pretty attractive too.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, because if you live for less than 6 months in a year in the UK, then you're classed as a non-resident in the UK, and then you don't pay any UK taxes on foreign income.
Yeah, you have to effectively do it and everything, but yeah, it's definitely something you can do.
Yeah. One of the final questions is that if I pay an independent agent in the US to market my healthcare business, would my LLC be liable for any US taxes?
What's important when you have an independent agent is that they are not making decisions on behalf of the company. Like they're not like a director, and they
No,
have some limits to what they're doing. So they can do work for you as a contractor. And
exactly.
there's resources on the IRS website which really strictly define what a contractor is, and we give contractor agreements to our clients where that you can use as like a guide and also to get signed,
Yeah, yeah.
because those that's really it. It really, they just can't be signing agreements on behalf of the company. Like some sales, you have to, even if they're salespeople, they have to prepare the stuff and then you sign it. They're just not signing things.
And no, they won't have any executive powers. All they would be doing just do a little bit of online marketing or even a little bit of marketing on the ground, and they would be independent contractors, but they wouldn't be my employees in any sense, and they wouldn't be signing any official documents or contracts on my behalf. So that's all going to be done by me.
Perfect. Yeah, so it wouldn't be an issue.
Okay. One last question, Mr. James. Would for my healthcare business, would a normal LLC or a closed LLC be the best option in my case for the medical tourism healthcare business?
What do you mean by a closed LLC?
I think so. There's something in Wyoming called a closed LLC, in which the members of the LLC cannot be removed without the agreement of the original founders or something like that. I mean, that's what I read.
Mhm. Let me.
Closed LLC.
Wyoming's closed LLC. I don't think it's I don't think it's really what you're saying based on what I'm reading here. Closed companies are limited to members or its requirements. I mean, the change for closed corporations LLCs took effect in 90. I think based on what I'm reading right here, it's a little different than what you're saying. It's actually kind of the opposite. There's less formalities, there's less things you have to do. It's a little stuff. I mean, the regular LLC works fine works good. It's completely anonymous. I mean, that's what we open for everyone. I haven't I don't really know much about the closed companies.
Yeah, it's Reno, a member of a closed LLC cannot sell or give away their company interest without the consent of all members.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, yeah, sure. I mean, it's the same thing for, I mean, that's for like multi-members. You're not going to have multi-members. It's going to be the same. So it doesn't really impact you at all. You're going to be the only owner. So it's like saying you need to approve it. It's the same with closed or regular. I don't know if it's cheaper. I don't really know anything that much about this. Honestly, I have my attorneys I would have to ask about this. For most people just use a regular limited liability company.
Okay, fine. Well, Mr.
So
James,
it doesn't.
I saw on your website that you've got some quite interesting products that maybe I'd be interested in buying for my education.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I have the course how to open a tax-free company, how to open and operate a tax-free U.S. company. It's very, no, I have it right here. How to open
Yeah,
and operate a tax-free
yeah,
company in
your
USA.
courses over here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. So, yeah, I mean, it's just like on YouTube, it's some of it can be a little vague. This is kind of direct to the point. It's not. It's I go through all the explanation. I think it's definitely worth the cost of what it is. You'll get something out of it, And I go into a lot of the details about how to use the payment processes. And if you're a DIY person, and you want to do it yourself, that one and the filing course, they're both really really helpful. And if you buy the courses and there's something not in there that you wanted to know or need to have questions about, you can obviously email us, and I'm happy to help.
Right. Okay. Yeah. First of all, I'd like to actually buy both of this in due course. Quite interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
you wouldn't need the filing course. I was really proud. It's the first one I made, and everyone that that's bought it was like, "Oh, Jim, super helpful." I'm like, "This is the most boring course. It's about how to file a really obscure tax form, but but it's people need to file it, and it explains well how to do it and what you need to do. So, and we review it for you the first year. So that's a really good like little solution there. But it's just funny to get good feedback on such, well, I mean, such dry content, right? It's such
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Which forms would I have to be filing with the IRS and with Wyoming every year, please?
So Wyoming is, whatever like registered agent you use to open the company,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
like whatever service they'll email you, and you just pay them every year, and that's what you do with Wyoming. It's pretty simple. Um, and then with the IRS, it's you have to file a pro forma form 1120 with a form 5472 attachment, and that's just to report the related party transactions. It's once you do it once or twice, it might look easy. Until then, it took me forever to figure out how to do it the right way.
So Wyoming, you're saying I don't have to form any send in any forms, do
No,
I?
you just have to pay people to keep the state open, or to keep the company open.
Right. And for
It's
the
like an
IRS,
annual fee. It's an annual fee, yeah.
it'll be form 1120 and 5472. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Can I do these IRS forms online, or would I have to send these in paper form?
You have to do it on PDF on your computer. There's no like workbook or whatever. Like that's what I do in the course. I show you how to assemble them and file them, because you need to pull them in PDF, put the right info in, you need to stamp them, and then you can fax them to the IRS. That's how you send it in.
Oh, you've got to fax it.
You can, yeah, you can mail it and put it in pile in the back of the line with a million things, but the fax is cool because you get confirmation, and then you can just save the fax confirmation. I think I even use a free fax service on there and show you how you can use your first fax for free. So I
Right.
mean, it's like, yeah, faxing it would work. You probably have a fax machine in the office anyways.
Right. Okay. And one final question: how do we open a U.S. bank account if I'm based outside the U.S. and I don't have any presence over there?
There's a couple online banks you can use.
Okay. Okay. Right. Thank you, Mr. James. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And of course, I look forward to buying both of your courses.
I guess
Very, very,
the 5472 one would be like next year, but because the company's not open yet. But the other one, yeah, it's still here. Yeah, let me know how you think about it. If there's any feedback you have, I appreciate it. I'll try and make it better all the time.
yeah, so this is basically your educational videos, isn't it?
Well, it's so I have a lot of stuff on YouTube, right? It's just it's like organized, right? It's a course, so it's gonna have structure, format. It's gonna be chronological. It's gonna actually answer all the questions. It's very concise. There's no fluff. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's like I'm sure if you watch the 400 hours, you can get most of what I'm saying on the course on YouTube. But the point is that it's like I'm looking for the right word. It's a not catered, curried. It's like a C word. It's
concise.
no, not concise. It's a whatever. It's like assembled in an organized way that it makes it more useful and easier to watch. So And there's definitely there's more stuff in there that I have on YouTube. I like actually open bank accounts on there. I apply for bank accounts. I apply for payment processors. I do some tech integrations. And you know, there's just have some problems. Like it's all like me doing in screen share, doing all the stuff that we do with our clients.
Okay. And with these courses, if I have any questions, can I just email you and ask you for some advice? I mean, after watching any of these courses?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can always you can always email us and let us know. You know, I do if you watch it all and you have like more technical questions, you know, I do paid calls. We picked this is a good call too because you have great questions and it's helpful for, you know, other viewers. But yeah, let us know if you have any questions. And I'm working on, I should have like a Facebook group associated with these things where we can communicate more and make it more of like a community type forum soon. But it hasn't, I don't know, hasn't happened yet. I've been very busy.
Okay. Well, as because out of thanks, I'd like to try to promote you and your name to my friends based over here in the UK and abroad, so that at least I can repay my gratitude for your free answers today.
Hey, I'm so happy to meet you, and you have a really cool business idea, especially because you're a doctor. I think you got legs there. So I hope it works out really well for you, and we'll be in touch. And I appreciate any likes and sharing and stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, and thank you very much, and I look forward to getting your courses on my laptop and having a look at those videos. Thank you very much.
Look forward to your feedback. Thanks, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Please take care. Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Bye. So that was a great call. Very nice. Dr. M, super nice guy. Great questions, great business idea. Medical tourism is huge, and having a doctor certified way and assurance is provided. And it's not even him. Yeah, I think he has a really cool business. So, you know, having a US company is super helpful for that. Even if you're in a developed country like the UK, where you can open a UK LTD, he's looking like, look, I want a US company. Doesn't that say it all? The Canadians, I'd rather operate with a US company than a Canadian company, you know? I have clients from all over the world, all kinds of developed countries, and even though there's a little bit of compliance they want to do, they still want US companies. And that's why I'm here giving information, because there's information for US people to open US companies, a lot of it. But I'm here to give that information about the non-residents opening US companies, because it's quite different how you own and operate these companies, how you apply for things. It's all a little tricky. And that's why you should like and subscribe to the channel. So I can talk about myself all day, but I know we're all busy. I'll see you on the next video. I hope this was helpful. Comment, like, subscribe, schedule your own call, description below, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.